Greens, everyone. Core here. And it's the end of the year. 2016 is pretty much in the book. It's New Year's Eve right now as I'm recording this. And just wanted to make a quick video. I haven't done one of these before, kind of like a recap of the year. And I gotta say, it's been an interesting year. I've been at my job for a full year now. I have a good schedule, a good shift, so that allows me to see more movies, especially seeing midnight movies again. Because before I had to see them early morning because I was graveyard, but not anymore. So that works out. As far as financially, it helps me out a lot too. As you can see, I got a lot of boxes still I got to throw away from all the Marvel Corp stuff, from the DC Legion of Collectors, which of course those are going to be ongoing. This year I had quite a few unboxings, and I thank everyone who watched those videos. Of course, the biggest one so far is the Stan Lee box, and a couple other of the Marvels and DCs. But it's going to be interesting this coming year because I'll have the Marvel Collector Corps boxes, resubscribe to the Star Wars Smuggler's Bounty boxes. I'm signed up for the Stan Lee box. I'm signed up for the DC Legion box. I have a special nerd box coming that's Stan Lee themed. So pretty much anything that has Stan Lee in it, I'll probably get the box of. um, and I'm sure there's going to be probably another box or two that I'm going to end up subscribing to. So I'll definitely look forward to those if you're interested in those. They usually come out about, month. Every other month they usually come here. And if you're always interested in any of the Marvel comics I always get duplicates. So I always throw up comic codes onto my Twitter, which is at DCWCore. DC, all one word. I am actually having a pretty big giveaway as far as digital codes go. I've been liking the series Champions by Marvel, which has Nova, totally awesome Hulk, Vi from Vision's daughter, pretty much. So she's pretty much Vision, just newer, I guess you could say. When Vision was new, so she has a lot of learning to do. Kamala Khan, which is the Miss Marvel Inhuman, and also a couple other ones that they're joining up, Cyclops now, and Spider-Man Miles Morales, which he feels like an old school, teenage Spider-Man, which it's good to have that again, where Peter Parker's doing his billionaire thing now. But yeah, I'm having the contest on Twitter. Well, not so much a contest as a giveaway. I'm giving away codes for Champions #1. I'm giving away 2 today on New Year's Eve, and I will be giving away 1 code every day for a week after starting on June 1st all the way to the 7th, I believe. If I get more codes, of course, I'll post them up, but 1 a day pretty much. And if you're interested, check out my Twitter. I'll usually probably post them up in the afternoon, maybe later in the evening, not Pacific time, so keep that in mind. If you're interested in what time I usually put them up, to keep an eye out for it. But definitely keep up for that. I always try to post up whatever extra duplicate Marvel comics I get. I'll throw them on there just to see who else wants them. I recently did a Secret Wars collection. For one lucky few, I gave them a physical copy, and a lucky person also got the digital copies. So if you're definitely interested in some free comics, check out my Twitter. Like I said, at DCWCore, which is DCWCORE, all one word. And hit me up if you're interested. Besides that, as far as my movies, I wanted to pick my top 5. Technically, it's 6 because one of them kind of tied with another movie. My top 6 movies to say this year that I went to go see is tied at number 5. It's Star Trek Beyond and World of Warcraft. Warcraft movie. Um, I couldn't quite pick which one I liked better. Warcraft, I loved the visuals. I got into World of Warcraft because of my friends during Wrath of the Lich King, and I had a really good guild, so I had a really great experience with it. And seeing this movie really brought a lot of the lore out that most people usually wouldn't see. And I didn't quite get into the lore because I was more into the guildy stuff, but yeah, man, I love seeing giant orcs. So my guy was a giant orc warrior, just beating up on everything. The size and the scale just was pretty awesome. The fight scenes and overall, it's just a very entertaining movie. I have it on my. I would throw it up every now and then just to check out some of the scenes because it's pretty beautiful, especially if we saw it in theaters on a nice, clean projector. Oh, it was great when I saw it early morning. Um, and of course, Star Trek Beyond, which is the third Star Trek movie as far as the J.J. Abrams universe, I would say. That's what a lot of people call it now because he started it. Um, it's definitely it feels the big complaint a lot of people had is because it felt smaller because it's not this big universe. It's kind of rehashing the first few where it's this big universal conflict, but then it's also feels more personal because it's grounded a lot more, literally grounded, uh, but also feels big too. In a way, it feels kind of like a movie I have later. That's my number four. But yeah, as far as Star Trek Beyond, the thing that really got me hooked on it, and I'm a sucker for nice visuals with perfectly matched music, and this has it in the final scene, which, if you know it, I mean, it's pretty awesome. It gave me the chills, man, when I saw it in the theater. But yeah, but overall, it's really good. Like, everybody gets their due. Everybody gets their time. Everybody grows, especially in this third movie. People could still grow to the characters and everything. But yeah, overall, those two tied. So no top five, top six. Uh, but number four, which is a pretty recent movie, I was actually tempted to put this a little higher, but I think it's a good spot. Number four, which is Rogue One, a Star Wars story, and I saw this twice. I saw it opening night, which I did the review, and then I saw it again in a Dolby theater, which it's just it's a theater with a better projector. The projector looks more like an LED screen that you'll have like at home, compared to like most projectors where they look brighter. Like if we turn the brightness up on your monitor a lot, that's kind of how it looks. Or you turn the contrast and all that stuff. So, but if you ever get a chance, definitely see Rogue One if you still can in a Dolby theater. Uh, the thing that really set it off is when the walkers are on the beach. Their first step, you just feel it. Oh, the sound system in there is just amazing, and you feel like there's a walker coming up on you. But the story was good. The characters were great. The way it fit into the timeline and everything. The ending scene, of course, with who on the ship is pretty epic. It's definitely one of the best things on there. And like I said, from Star Trek Beyond, it feels more grounded because you're following this small crew, you know, kind of just flying by the edge of their seat, just trying to get this done and succeed. And it goes, it has the best final scene, the best battle that Star Wars has done. It has a beachfront, it has people sneaking in through, you know, the headquarters, it has people battling on the beach, it has people, fighting in the atmosphere, it has people fighting in the space, orbit. It's all four things happening at once, and it just comes together perfectly. It's probably the best thing about the movie, um, besides the scene that comes right after that. But yeah, Rogue One, number four. Um, Number three, I was actually surprised because I don't know. I knew it was gonna be good, but I didn't expect it. I didn't expect I was gonna like it this much. Uh, my number three is Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and I don't know. I was thrown off on this. I mean, I've seen all Harry Potter movies. I know a lot of the lore, read the books and stuff, and I like them. I can't say I don't like them. I like them quite a bit. Um, but this one, just like the characters are more developed, they're more likable, they're more they're just better overall. I mean, because granted, of course, they were kids mostly, and then you see them grow up, and then they become really good. But this one is just one of those things where it's like it starts off running, and you get really devoted, and you grow attached to these characters because they're great characters. And that's the best thing about this movie is the characters are amazing. And overall, it's just a very enjoyable movie. Afterwards, I was happy. I felt good. It just gave me in a good mood at the end of it. So definitely see that if you can, and not get it, watch it for sure. Uh, so number three, Fantastic Beast and Where to Find Them. And number two, I am a pretty big comic book nerd, and you can see one of my new editions of Captain America. It is not number two. Deadpool is number two, and I was thinking about putting it Deadpool number one, but I think two fits better for him. um, Overall, I mean, as far as a Deadpool movie being made, if you know Deadpool, this is probably the best they can do right now, without going too crazy and everything. And I mean, from all the records it broke and everything, the Deadpool 2 will probably be more ridiculous than Deadpool 1. uh, it's everything just comes together really well. Uh, there's good fight scenes. There's a lot of good humor. It's weird because it's like the story seems so small scale, but yet it doesn't feel too boring in a way. It doesn't feel small. They make it feel pretty big, and as far as the scale, even though it's a small story. I mean, it takes place in like a couple days, more or less, without besides the flashbacks. But yeah, I mean, if you haven't seen Deadpool, if you've seen it, you know why it's number two, and I think it's probably a lot of people's number ones. But yeah, my number one is Captain America: Civil War, and yeah, like I said, I'm a pretty big comic book nerd, and I got a lot of stuff. If you've seen my room, I mean, it's always growing and evolving. Funko Pops, especially my number one thing. I probably got about 200 pops, and I'd say about 75% of them are Marvel. But yeah, so what they're doing now in the comics is they have a Civil War 2, and they've had another Civil War during the Secret War, so they changed things up of how they use Civil War. It's an event, pretty much. You know, it's infighting as far as the heroes, and this isn't one of those two stories as far as uh, it's kind of like it takes a lot from the first Civil War story about the superhero registration, but they use what's happened in the Marvel Cinematic Universe to you know ground it, to stitch it together as far as how they can make a Civil War happen with what has happened already. So that works out really well. I mean, yeah, it's disappointing. There's no, X-Men. There's no Fantastic Four. There's, no Hulk, pretty much. And granted, of course, there's no Hulk in the original Civil War, but there was She-Hulk. There was, this new Civil War, was Red Hulk, and Abomination and stuff like that. It's Doc Samson and stuff. Um, but yeah, it's there's no Thor, of course, because yeah, whoever has Thor or Hulk is gonna win. So they gotta take him out of the equation. But it was really cool. That airport fight scene, of course, is the money scene pretty much that everyone talks about, everyone loves. Yeah, it's pure amazing. I mean, just I'm glad they got Spider-Man. Me and my friends always said if they gonna replace Spider-Man for somewhere in Civil War, the only other person I could see replacing Spider-Man that could do what Spider-Man does in the comics, at least, would be Daredevil. I feel like he could take on Captain America for sure. Probably win, but at least waste his time doing it. But yeah, I think the best thing was seeing Giant Man, and I was almost gonna put Doctor Strange on this list, but it was good. It just wasn't. It didn't feel like a top five, even top six. It was probably closer to number 10 if I made a 10 list. And unfortunately, like I said, no DC on this list. I'm not hating DC. I do have a little bit of a DC corner back there. Um, it's just Suicide Squad and Batman vs Superman. just weren't as good as these movies that I chose. You know, Star Trek, Warcraft, Rogue One, Fantastic Beasts, Deadpool, Captain America. You know, they just, even the extended cut for both of them, yeah, made them better, but that should have been the original cut. And I think one of them might have, I think the Batman vs Superman might have gone onto this list if they originally shown the extended cut. But unfortunately, I do have to dock it a little bit for that. So if it was, it probably would be number 7 or 8. So yeah, it sucks, but that's my top 6 for this year. I'm really looking forward to next year. There's gonna be some amazing movies, and I'm hoping to do reviews for all of them. You know, just a few to name. You know, Justice League movies scheduled, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Thor Ragnarok scheduled, Spider-Man: Homecoming, Wonder Woman, Alien Covenant, Star Wars Episode 7, uh, even Beauty and the Beast. I mean, from the trailer they showed, it looks like they're literally turning what they shot animated into live action. I'm interested to see the Power Rangers movie. Um, Pirates of the Caribbean, it's always good. I'm a big Transformers fan, so I'm definitely gonna see Transformers: The Last Night. I think the number one movie I'm anticipating the most next year is Logan, or a lot of people like to think of it, Old Man Logan. But yeah, there's just a ton of movies coming out this coming year, and I'm really looking forward to it. So here's hoping for more in 2017. And I want to say again, thank you everyone for pretty much whoever's watched these videos. I mean, I just do these for fun, and I like seeing new subscribers. If I ever get to 100 subscribers, I'll probably give away some of, the extra loot I get from my collector core boxes. So we'll definitely see when that happens, which I'm a little over halfway. I think that's pretty good so far. But hopefully I can start making this a little more regular. I'm thinking about upgrading my camera. I'm also thinking about getting a microphone too as well. That might come a little later, probably in a month or two. I'll probably look into it to see what I can do. Maybe even get better lighting and hopefully clean up this mess, because the holiday season has taken a little bit of a toll on me. But yeah, until next time, guys. Later.